Hello everyone, welcome back for another science video. Today we are going to be learning about mutations. We are still talking about DNA, genetics, and all of the possible things that can happen. So let's talk about what is a mutation. This is a new word. We've never heard it before, but let's go ahead and talk about it. So what is a mutation? And I know you guys have heard this word before because, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all that crazy stuff. So this is anything that is not 100% normal in your DNA or in any organism's DNA. Anything that's not 100% completely normal, regular, we call it a mutation. So like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, walking, talking, fighting turtles, that is not normal. So that is why they are mutants. So let's think, are all mutations bad? What do you guys think? No, all mutations are not bad. So mutations can be they can be one of three things. They can either be positive, they can be negative, or they can be neutral. And we're going to go through and talk about all three of those things. So let's start off by talking about positive mutations. What is a positive mutation? Before I even write it, what do you think? I'll give you some time to think about that. So, a positive mutation is a mutation that benefits or helps the organism. So, it's going to be good for the organism. So, an example of this would be sickle cell trait, not sickle cell anemia, which is something different, but sickle cell trait. So, let's talk about what that is and how it's beneficial to an organism, more specifically people. So a normal red blood cell looks like this. It looks kind of like a red donut. That means 100% of your blood cells look like that. When you have sickle cell trait, about 90% of your blood cells look like that, and then you might have 10% or even 5% that look just a little bit wonky, and that means that those are sickled. Now when you have blood cells that look like that, when the mosquito bites you and it has the malaria, it can't actually get into your bloodstream very well when you have those wonky blood cells. So people who have sickle cell trait out in Africa actually cannot get malaria. So that's going to be a mutation that helps the organism. The next thing that we're going to go ahead and look at are negative mutations. And I'm sorry that the camera keeps having to refocus, guys. It's doing too much. So let's talk about negative mutations. So a negative mutation is a mutation that keeps the organism from surviving, or does not help the organism and it actually hurts the organism. So the definition that I wrote is a mutation that makes it difficult for the organism to survive. So an example of this is going to be something called albinism. And this is when an organism is lacking any color. They have no color. So this can happen in people. This happens in animals. If you guys ever see like the white bunny rabbits, those are albino bunny rabbits. The white rabbits with like the red eyes. So here I'm drawing a bird, and I'm going to start by drawing just a typical regular little brown bird that you would find outside in the trees and stuff like that. Now go ahead and take some time while I'm drawing the bird, and I want you to think about, why would this bird need to be brown? Like a bird in Texas with the climate that we have, why would it be good for this bird to be brown? I'll give you a few seconds to think. Make sure we color in that beak. I hope you're thinking about why this bird is brown. So I'm going to draw a tree. What color is the tree? Give you a second. The tree is brown. So if you have a brown bird and it lives in a brown tree, how is that going to benefit the bird? Well, it's going to be able to protect itself from predators better. It's going to be able to camouflage better. But what about if we have a bird that lives in that same brown tree, it lives in the same climate, but it's white? It never got any color. It had a genetic mutation that made the bird completely white where it didn't have any color. What do you think might happen to the bird then? Will it be able to camouflage as well as the other bird? No, it's not going to. So therefore, the bird that is white but lives in the environment in the brown trees is more likely to be eaten by predators. So that's why that's a negative mutation. It can keep the organism from being able to camouflage. The next kind of mutation that we're going to look at is a neutral mutation. So we talked about good, we talked about bad. What do you think neutral means? Well, a neutral mutation has no effect on the organism. Like it's something that happens, but it doesn't affect the organism positively or negatively. It's just kind of there. So an example of this is going to be having blue eyes. So right here, I'm drawing a brown eye because having brown eyes is the typical standard norm. If you have brown eyes, you don't have any kind of mutation at all. Your DNA just there, you don't have any sort of mutation. This is what we're going to call the normal. But if you have anything besides brown to have a mutation. So if you have blue eyes, you technically have a mutation that's causing your eyes to be blue. And so we talked about genes and hereditary information and all of that. So if you have your parents have blue eyes and then you come out with blue eyes, they pass that mutation down to you. Mutations can be genetic. They can be passed down. And if you have green eyes, that's a mutation as well. Anything besides brown is a mutation. But having blue eyes or green eyes doesn't affect you negatively or positively. It's just part of who you are. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next science video. Bye.